You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus cites this as the very core of the Hebrew faith. In this, he is placing himself in the very center of Hebraic affirmation, in the very center of Jewish religion, in the very center of Pharisaic proclamation. He then concludes his own citation and interpretation by saying, on these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Every other law, all the other 611 laws are interpretive and explanatory of these two. Love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. Every other law, all 611 of them, and the prophets themselves all serve to interpret, apply these two. That makes them pretty important, doesn't it? Makes them important for the Jews and makes them important for us because Jesus selected them and identified them as the core of faith. Loving the Lord our God and loving our neighbor as ourselves. So much so that then when he got around to expressing his own commandment, in John chapter 15, verse 12, I'm going to repeat that because you need to know it. John chapter, and there will be a test at some point in the distant future at the throne of grace. John chapter 15, verse 12, this is my commandment. Now, Jesus is saying this. After having given all this interpretation over in Matthew, he now says here in John's gospel, this is my commandment. So it's got to be a big one, right? Be good? No. Be righteous? No. Don't murder? He doesn't say it at this point. No. Fill out your charge conference forms and have them in on time? No. Obey the bishop? No. Sorry, bishop. No. Obey the general conference? No. No. This is my commandment, that you love one another. Oh gosh, Greg's getting on that love stuff. Jesus got on it first. This is in red lettering, friends. This is the Jesus stuff. This is my commandment, that you love one another. That's what we're called to be about. Loving the Lord our God and loving our neighbors as ourselves. Loving one another. Loving God and loving one another. You know, you spend years and years and years in seminary, years and years and years in graduate school. You study, you read and you read. You learn all the theologies of all the theologians. You learn the Bible, you study the Scriptures, you study the history of the church, you study the systematic theology of the faith, you earn degrees in the subject, and it comes down to something as simple as this. All of that comes down to this. Love the Lord your God with all of your being, with every bit of yourself. Don't keep anything out. All of your heart, all of your soul, all of your strength or mind, all of you. God wants all of you to love God and your neighbor as yourself. And this is my commandment, Jesus says, that you love one another. We can get caught up in the discipline. We can get caught up in all the rules. We can get caught up in all theology. We can get caught up in all the structures and schemes that they may present for us for church growth and church development and all that other nonsense. When in the end, the message is simple. This is my commandment, that you love one another. We are called to be a people of love. reaching out with the love and acceptance of God, reaching out with the love and acceptance of Jesus Christ, a love that knew no limitation, a love that went to the cross and died for us, a love that gives itself in resurrection for us, a love that became incarnate in human flesh for us, to show us the love of God, to share with us the love of God, so that we might share the love of God with all. This is our message. This is our faith in Jesus Christ. This is the calling we here today have received, to proclaim the love of God, to proclaim the calling to love God, and to proclaim the calling to love neighbor as self, to reach out with the love of God for all.